The features! My friends! The features are back. Welcome in. Sorry, a lot of energy. That's because I'm kind of excited. 4.5 has just been revealed on the roadmap roundup for Star Citizen. We've gotten our first look into 2026, what's going to be happening, and it's looking pretty good. So one of the big problems with 2025 was that features kind of paused. It was all content, some bug fixing, but mostly just focused on keeping people playing through narrative-based content that didn't take a lot of new features. In that same time, the EPTU was not used that much, which infuriated people like me. And we didn't really see any features coming into the game. Important things like control surfaces, quantum travel reworks, engineering, interaction models, the item recovery system, crafting. A lot of things. We didn't see a lot of important things. We actually did see some item recovery stuff, but everything else was pretty much on pause for most of the year. And that has been rough for the game actually moving forward. The very first thing on the newest roadmap roundup is engineering. Now, a lot of people are worried about this, but let me tell you, this is a pro more than a con, by far. This allows us to repair our ships. It lets us do everything out in the field that we were trying to do at space stations in between battles. It lets us salvage more components. It lets us take more advantage of the ships and the people that can be on those ships at any given time. What it does not do is make your solo ship unflyable. It doesn't even make big ships unflyable. It basically, it's mostly a combat thing in the short term. It's more of a general maintenance thing in the long term. And I think overall, people are going to really enjoy this because it allows us to make more use of the different parts of our ship. It allows us to use the ship in the ways that we want. And it kind of lets you keep the ship in the state that you want. Some people actually like their ships falling apart. No judgment. Fire hazards are coming along with engineering. And this is really, I think, the part that bothers people more is the fact that fires are possible. This isn't necessarily to be fun. I think a lot of people will look at the fire and say, who finds this fun? Now, a lot of people do find it fun. It is kind of fun to do. Fighting fires is cool. Power washing simulator is a thing, and it's kind of the same situation. The interesting thing about this is that the fire is completely dynamic, systemically reacting to the vacuum in your ship, to the temperatures of things around you, to whether or not you're putting water or fire extinguisher gas on it, whatever. They're going to be important. And they're going to be able to kind of incapacitate your ship if you don't take care of yourself. But for the most part, the only people who have to worry about this are the ones who are getting into combat a lot. Going back to just the original thing, not necessarily supposed to be fun. This is kind of a deterrent. A health bar is not a fun thing. It's just something that makes you play in a different way. And this has been planned, let me tell you, we'll do a quick search here. 2013, we had the engineering ship component systems document, which talked about pipes, now engineering. It talked about item quality, performance tuning, cost, CPU, mass, signatures, all the stuff that we're seeing now. It names out all the components and how they work together and how you'll have to repair them. It's not necessarily new to the idea of Star Citizen, but it's certainly new to the gameplay. And I'm going to be interested in seeing how people jump into this, probably around March. Next up is physical helmets. Implementing physical helmets in the persistent universe. Pick one up, rotate it, inspect every detail, carry it around, attach it to your hip, or toss it across the room if you want. When you equip a helmet, you put on or remove the same one you held in your hands, complete with a fully realized interior. This is actually going to be really cool for the helmets that don't have a glass visor. I'm interested in seeing if they put any kind of cool screen animations that kind of show the augmented reality display, sort of like the Asperia ships. I'm really happy to see physicalized helmets. I do hope that this means that physicalized armor is not shortly coming after. That's a weird statement. And maybe that means that suit lockers are not also far behind. Suit lockers would be huge. The ability to equip all the stuff you want in one click. Yeah, that's going to change the game. So, physicalized helmets, pretty cool. Also, it's going to help me know when I have a helmet on or off so I don't choke to death constantly in the vacuum of space every week. But it also is just, it looks cool. This is one of those early kind of things they showed off in video that we've been waiting a long time for. Good to see. New barrel attachments coming in 4.5, implementing a host of new barrel attachments with scorched tweaker power levels, as well as a new tactical Volt flashlight. I'm guessing that just means a flashlight made by Volts. Don't think it means it's going to have any specific type of damage to it or anything like that. It might be literally a flashlight. I don't know. Maybe it has some complications with heat. We'll see. But the scorched and tweaker power leveled barrel attachments coming in is nice. We haven't seen barrel attachments being added to Star Citizen's roadmap in a long time. It was actually back in 3.6 here. We got weapon attachments and then weapon attachments V2, and it really kind of stopped there officially speaking. They still added some attachments elsewhere throughout here, including the scorched and tweaker stuff. but they haven't expanded too much on that. I am glad to see that there's going to be new versions that maybe have different descriptions. I feel like they're kind of just saying these are going to be new attachments that have the heightened power levels like these two, not necessarily that there'll be more of these two. So more variety. That's nice. It's expected that FPS gameplay, they get a lot of focus on that right now. Next up is the Vulcan renderer improvements, increasing both the stability and speed of the Vulcan renderer with many crash fixes, diagnostic improvements, and multi-threaded render submission. That's huge. While adding support for HDR and NVIDIA's DLSS transformer model. Also included is an overhaul to the graphics options with many new settings and a VRAM bar to help players configure the graphics for their GPU. There are a lot of graphics settings. I saw this in the tech preview. Most of the stuff that you would expect from a game, actually. Everything from shadows to textures to just general lighting stuff. It does feel like it's getting closer to being more finished. The pause menu in general still feels like it could use quite some work, but it's nice to see more features like this coming to Star Citizen. This is also big because this is likely a big bottleneck for a lot of these features coming in, like fire and their ability to get these working on the Vulcan renderer. So 4.5 is going to be a large merge of code. And it's good to remember that this will be the first big merging of code since the beginning of 2025, maybe the end of 2024. It's been a long time since they've brought over the engine-focused updates into the actual Star Citizen we're playing. That's why the game's been allowed to be more stable this year. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it is, but it is. And when they make this merge, chaos could be wrought. Now, they're doing the EPTU, the tech preview, constantly now, week after week, testing these things out so that at some point when they do drop these in, they've had plenty of time to get feedback and understand what's going on, but tech preview is never going to be as common as the live build. So expect there to be some problems due to things like this and the engine changes and even engineering coming in. But this is something that we need to have. Besides some new hairstyles, finally we have FPS AI improvements, implementing improvements to FPS AI combat for smarter decision-making, refined perception, and more reliable reactions in combat. This includes better cover use, grenade targeting, friend or foe checks, group awareness, and animation sync support to make encounters feel more tactical and responsive. I think the AI is doing much better than it has been over the last several years. Obviously, with server meshing finally allowing it to actually work. But it's going to be good to see them actually get particularly better. I did try the tech preview that had the FPS AI improvements in there. I don't think I really got a chance to notice it because I don't even remember. So hopefully we see this again in a couple more of these waves in the next month and we can try it out and see what it means. That's it though. That's 4.5, and I think I've said most of what I wanted to say about the features and stuff in it overall. This is still a ways away. We're getting this roadmap roundup in November, but this patch is probably not going to come out until February or March, I would say, for us. Maybe it'll come sooner, but usually January is a slow month for CIG, so I would expect the latter. Besides that, we're back to features, and it feels good. If they keep using the tech preview like this, that means that we're going to start seeing more and more features every patch. And with the first patch of the year being defined by engineering, which is a very late feature, a whole year late, actually coming up in 4.5, I do foresee things like crafting and the inventory rework coming in not long after. Maybe 4.6, maybe 4.7, but we'll see. Either way, thanks for checking out this news update. Hope you got some info. Catch you in the next one.